You all know that our coral reefs are early warning systems for global climate change. Our coral reefs are indeed warning loud, very loud. This was confirmed by many poster and talk contributions during the previous week.
As hosts of the 14th and 15th ICRS, we feel obliged to precede and to organize these coral reef-related events in the most sustainable and climate-friendly way.
This means both the avoidance and the compensation of CO2 emissions by a series of measures. We developed a green strategy and we did this in cooperation with several partners.
For the planned in-person event, we want to provide only regional and seasonal food during lunch and dinners. We will serve our meals on reusable dishes and we will use reusable cutlery. We will offer public transport tickets for all the participants, but you may as well use the bike.
Because of the decision to host the 14th ICRS 2021 in virtual space, we had to adapt our green strategy for this particular event. For the 14th ICRS 2021 virtual, we calculated and compensated all CO2 emissions.
And we will benefit from all the precious lessons learned from teamworking with our partners to implement the green strategy for the 15th ICRS next year in summer 2022 here in Bremen. Our main partner is the climate protection agency called Energiekonsens.
We support the 14th ICRS 2021 Green Strategy by calculating the total amount of CO2 that is produced by this virtual meeting. This calculation is based on the Greenhouse Gas Protocol. We assume approximately 1,000 participants, an average participation time of 30 hours and a data retention time of 1 year. This results in a total amount of 10 tons of CO2 produced by this event. We also support the 15th ICRS 2022 Green Strategy primarily by advising on catering in the most sustainable way. You can find our results and learn more about sustainable conference catering on the website of the ICRS, as well as our online brochure about climate-friendly nutrition during online conferences. The development of these recommendations was supported by the German Federal Environmental Foundation.
It is our concern to support innovative and exemplary projects. We ourselves take climate-friendly event management very seriously, as it has a high potential for climate protection. Our own conference center here in Osnabrück, for example, is certified according to the international sustainability standard Green Globe. All over the world, there are many international conferences that leave significant CO2 emissions. And that is why we are particularly pleased to support the project Energy Efficient and Climate-Friendly Conference Catering using the example of the International Coral Reef Symposium ICRS 2021 by Energiekonsens. While we also support conferences that address the CO2 footprint of travel to scientific events, for instance, this project is about sustainable technical impulses for catering at major events. And it convinces us on several levels. Firstly, the theming and calculation of CO2 emissions from virtual and major present events. Secondly, impetus for vocational training in cooperation with 3 vocational schools. For example, new practices in cookery training are tried out and established. Thirdly, the drafting of contracts between organizers and caterers, which has hardly been taken into account so far. And fourthly, providing content-related advice to organizing committees. And with this bundle of methods, it is possible to develop best practice guidelines and models for the post-corona period, which are aimed at future ICRS presence events and can be transferred to other major international events.
We are pleased that we are able to put together a high-quality portfolio of climate protection projects to compensate the emissions of the Symposium calculated by Energiekonsens. These projects all meet the requirements of the UNFCCC and additionally those of the verified carbon or gold standard. They are related to coastal marine ecosystems such as coral reefs and cover a large geographical range by including all 3 world oceans, since they take place in Borneo, Mauritius, Aruba and the Dominican Republic. For example, the Borneo project meets all 17 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, including the establishment of a floating clinic and the afforestation of 20,000 new mangrove trees to create vital marine habitat to protect marine life. And finally, some good news. We already reserved CO2 compensation credits for the 15th ICRS next year.
Today, I'm pleased to welcome participants to the 14th International Coral Reef Symposium, organized by the University of Bremen, Germany, and to send warm congratulations from UNIP on the groundbreaking aspects of your event. First, that you are completely virtual this year, allowing more voices from around the world to be heard than ever before. And second, that this event and next year's in-person symposium will both be carbon neutral events. UNIP is so pleased that our support made your innovative approach possible, and very impressed with the carbon dioxide offsetting projects in the portfolio that was put together by klimainvest. We are delighted to be part of this important milestone in advancing ambitious, inclusive, and successful agenda for the world's coral reefs.